Yeah, students. Okay, fine. Hope so you can see my screen. Today we are starting with the module 3 of services marketing. So before going there, anyone has any doubts or any questions in module 2 that were completed in your previous class? So if you have, you can post it in the messaging or you can just ask me. If you don't have any questions, we'll move ahead with module 3. Okay, I hope there are no questions. Fine. So today we are starting with module 3 of services marketing. So again, the gap model, gaps model of service quality. So in your first module, we just saw what is the gap model. And in our second module, we covered the gap 1, that is listening gap. So we are today in the module 3, we are looking into the gap 3. So that is the gap 3 is service design and standards gap, which is between the customer driven service designs and standards and the company perceptions of consumer expectations. So the gap 2 is service design and standards gap. So moving to the next one. Yeah. So factors necessary for appropriate service standards. So what do you mean by this? So there will be some factors which are very, very much necessary to have an appropriate service standards. So if you see the translation of customer expectations into specific service quality standards depends on the degree to which the tasks and behaviors to be performed can be standardized or routinized. Standardized in the sense you are having a fixed set of rules and regulations or a process which you are basically following. Okay. Standardization usually means a non-varying sequential process similar to the mass production of goods in which each step is laid out in order to overcome or outcomes are uniform basically. So to have an uniform outcome, we are having a standard set of rules and regulations to be followed. So that is called as standardization. But whereas customization usually refers to some level of adaptation or tailoring of the process to the individual customers. So what does this means? Customization, you are making some changes to the process based on the situations or based on your customers' preferences. Okay, that is called as customization. The goal of standardization is for the service firm to produce a consistent service product from one transaction to the next. So why do we go for standardization? So that for each and every transaction that we make with the same customer or the different customer, the way of delivery should remain the same. So for that, we are going for standardization. Okay. The goal of customization for this service firm is to develop services that meet each customer's individual needs. So standardization is fine in a particular way, but each and every customer might have a different sense of expectation from the service. So in that case, you can go for a customized service delivery. So as per the customer preference, if you are changing this customization, or if you want each and every transaction with each and every customer to be the same, so we are going for standardization. Okay. Customization is essential for providing high quality service. So why this is important? So each and every customer is different and each and every customer's expectation about the service delivery can be different. To match that, we need to have customization. So if you are having standardization, so I'll tell you standardization advantages as well as customization advantages. Okay. So first we'll see. So standardization is required for giving the similar kind or the same kind of service delivery each and every time. So if you do that, so what happens? Sometimes if the person who is providing the service might be very creative. So at that moment of time, what happens? It seems that if the process is very standardized and you are not allowed to make any small changes there. So at that time, that particular person may feel pulled back. So you might have very much creative ideas to have that particular service delivery. But if you are not allowed from the company point of view, so whatever is done, in some cases they say, okay, whatever is written in the process, only do that. So in that cases, what happens? It seems that the customer is pulled back, not the customer, the person who is providing the service is pulled back. He might have very creative ideas to have that service delivery, but for those things, as well as many people feel that service are too intangible to be measured. So what is intangible? You cannot touch and feel. But here in this case, services you cannot touch, right? So it is only you can experience it. So there are no standards basically to be measured where we can compare and measure it. Only the previous, so if I am a person who has availed a particular service, so I know what service was being provided. So I will compare with the service that is being provided now. Okay, so my such standards are the standards that were set in my previous service delivery. I'll be comparing with the delivery what I am getting now. Okay. So what are the things here? So tasks, behaviors, standardization and customization. So behaviors, standardized and customized, they vary, as well as tasks, they vary. That is what this particular table tells you. So tasks can be standardized on standardization or customization. Moving to the next one, standardization of service can take three forms. So what are they? First one, substitution of technology for personal contact. Second one, improvement in work methods. And the third one is combination of both of these. So here I can give an example for the first one, substitution of technology for personal contact. So what they are telling, so instead of a human to human contact, we can use technology there in between for the customers. For example, I can give automatic teller machines, that is ATM machines. So if you want to draw money or if you want to deposit money, nowadays you guys or the customers don't need to go to banks necessarily. If you are having a ATM nearby your house, you can deposit or you can even withdraw money from the ATM. So if you go to a bank, there will be a person who will be sitting at a particular counter. So based on what service you require, you can go and ask him. So there is an human to human contact. The person is there, going there. There are certain steps to be taken. So if he is having those particular steps done, then whatever service is required, he is getting it without any human to human contact. Okay, improvement. Next is improvement in work methods. So how can you improve? Okay, so for example, I'll give you Urban Clap. I hope you guys know the new app that is being there in the market. Urban Clap, you can see the advertisements also. So what does this do? These people are expertise in certain things, like for example, electrical works. It can be your massages, or it can be your plumbing works. So all these services are being provided there. So why they have come up with this improvement in work method? So you might find or you may not find a good plumber or a good electrician near your home, but if you contact them, so they will send you the good person. Actually, they may charge you more or less based on the service delivery charges, but they make sure that you are getting a better experience than the normal one, or equal to the highest standard that you might have uh, got serviced. So this is very important. Or third one is combination of these two. Again, I can give you the same thing, Urban Clap. We are using technology where to book, as well as the person comes and he does the service for you. So that can be taken as a combination of two methods. So first one, substitution, where we are not having personal contact or human effort. So a particular technology is being used. And the second one, improvement in work standards. So you can improve your work, like getting very best service available in that particular situation to the customers. And the third one, combination of both, using technology as well as improvement in the work method. So it is called as technology, standardization, work improvement methods. So all these are putting together and you have to come up with a standardized way if possible. Or if possible, you can go for customized way also. So it depends on what kind of service you are delivering. Okay, so that is very, very much important. And next is formal service targets and goals. So what are these? So first one, individual formal goal setting leading to targets, and the second one, group formal goal setting leading to targets. So before going this, I'll just tell you something. Companies that have been successful in delivering consistently high service quality are noted for establishing formal standards to guide employees in providing service. So consistently, if you are having consistently are providing very good quality service to your customers, then they'll be having standards or a set of guidelines for the employees to follow. These companies have an accurate sense of how well they are performing service that is critical to their customers, how long it takes to conduct transactions, how frequently the service fails, how quickly they settle customer complaints, and strive to improve by defining goals that lead them to meet or exceed customer expectations. So big companies or companies who are continuously providing better services to their customers or higher quality services to their customers, they take into consideration all these things. What are they? So I just said how long it takes to conduct the transaction, how frequently a particular service may fail, or how quickly they settle the customer complaints, and how well they are improving their services based on the previous experiences. Okay, so under this we are having two things, that is individual formal goal setting leading to targets. So one type is that which is very very much relevant in service business, which involves specific targets for individual behaviors or actions. Okay, for example, I'll give you, consider the behavior calls the customer back quickly. Okay, this is the behavior, calls the customer back quickly. An action that signals responsiveness in contact employees. So who are contact employees? The employees who contact the customers, or the employees who are in touch with the customers are called as contact employees. If the service goal for employee behavior is stated in such general ways, what is that general way? Call the customer back quickly. So you are not providing any specific time period. So based on the situation and based on the service delivery, quickly can be anything. Quickly can be 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 2 minutes, 20 minutes, 2 hours, 2 days, 2 weeks also. So each and every person's call back quickly, the word quickly can be different. So that's why I told you, gave an example of 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 20 minutes, 2 hours, it can be anything. So what you have to do is, you have to set a goal for individual. If you are setting a goal, it should be very measurable, like call them back within 2 hours. So it can be anything. They can call you, or they can send an message stating that they want your particular service. It can be over an app, it can be over a phone, it can be over an email, whatever. So what you have to do, your target given set is, you have to reach back the customers within 2 hours. Example again. Okay, so if that is given, then there is a very set rule given to a particular employer that he has to contact back within 2 hours. So that helps in delivering a particular kind of service very efficiently. So if he is giving back within, when giving a back call, or is in touch with the customer within 2 hours, that means you can efficiently tell others that within 2 hours we will contact you. For example, delivery, I'll tell you, of pizzas. So all of them, they are telling that, okay, after the order, it should reach you within 30 minutes or it is free. So what is that? Why is that they do? They have already set a particular goal for a particular employee, so that as soon as the order is given by the customer, it should reach the customer back within 30 minutes. Otherwise, the penalty is for the company and not for the customer. The penalty is you have to deliver the pizza for free. So this is individual formal goal setting leading to the targets. So another type of formal goal setting involves the overall department or company target, most frequently expressed as a percentage across all executions of the behavior or action. A department might set as its overall goal to call the customers within 2 hours or 4 hours 97% of the times. Okay, based on the type of delivery that you are providing or type of the service that you are providing. So you can set that particular timing. So you can have, like, for example, if you take, we are having services like insurance and all. So there are some apps. So if you are going there and getting your information, putting over there for whatever insurance you require, you are getting a call within 10 minutes. So if you have used that particular service, you'll get to know. So as soon as you register there for a particular insurance to be seen, so the representative will call you back within 10 minutes asking you what is your requirement, what are you looking for, and even if required, they'll suggest you for a certain insurance also. So based on health insurance, motor insurance, depends. There are so many apps now which are there in the market. There are so many companies who are providing these particular services. If you are just logging in, so if you are just logging in, so they will, so if you're just logging in, so they'll get to know that you are there and they'll call you back stating that what services is being required to you. Are you satisfied? Are you done with whatever you are looking for, or do you need any suggestions from our end? Based on your requirement, they'll suggest you what kind of service or which company insurance you will be taking based on the particular data that they will have. They'll provide you that data also. Like for example, claims. So 97% of the times people have got the claims within 24 hours. So this is one of the criteria where they'll tell you if you are claiming something, you will get the amount in within 24 hours. So what does this mean? That means there will be a very quick service given to you. And they are mentioning percentage also, 97% of the percentage of the time. Here again, so they are telling you an example that if you are asking them, your employees to call, or whole department for that matter, to call back the customers within 4 hours in 97% of the times. It may so happen that you may extend the time, but you should be within 97%. That means out of 100 customers, you can have a deviation for 3 customers. That is also not advised, but at times it happens. So they are giving you that buffer of 3 calls out of 100. So it makes it 97%. So if you can take it to 98, 99, it is very, very good. So that you can 100% say, yes, I am doing it. Whatever, like doing it in the sense, whatever I have told you that I will be calling within 3 hours or 4 hours, or I'll be delivering a particular product to you within half an hour. So you are having a goal to each and every individual in the first one, and in group formal setting or goal setting. So you're giving for a whole department a particular goal, what they have to do in a particular situation. Okay, individual, it is for that particular individual. For a group, it can be for a whole company, it can be for a whole department, or it can be a group of people in that particular department. Okay, these are the two things: formal service targets for individual and for group formal goal setting leading to targets. Moving to the next one, we are having customer, not company defined standards. So you might get confused here. So what does this mean is you have to look into customer of what he requires and not only the company's point of view. Okay, so it is given you two things and there is an arrow. Customer driven service designs and standards and management perception of customers expectations. So this is the gap what we are talking about. So we need to more look into the customer's point of view than the company's point of view. Okay. So here all companies possess service standards and measures that are company defined. They are established to reach internal company goals for productivity, efficiency, cost, or technical quality. So for example, I'll tell you, if it is very much cheap for the company if they have an automated reply system. So if you call a particular company, you might hear an automatic voice which is coming to you. So they will tell there is not a human who is answering you. It will be a machine and a recorded voice. Okay. They'll tell you welcome and they'll ask you for what service you require. So they'll ask you for press 1, 2, 3, 4, and again it goes on until you have reached your particular destination or you're confused and you're coming out. But this is very irritating for the customers most of the times. But at times it has so happened that customer has got a very quick reply also because the company is having very few services and very few variations in those services where this type of system can be used. But in general, so many people they get annoyed. For example, if you're calling your SIM card company customer care, so most of the times it is a automatic machine that is being replying you. So they'll ask you to press certain numbers to reach a certain particular place, or at the end you can reach the customer service. So if the issue is solved just within that automated system only, then well and good. Otherwise, you have to talk to a certain person. So at that time, what happens is company is trying to minimize its costs. So once that particular system is in place, there is no cost for them. But if a human is working over there, they have to pay him every month here in India or in US and other countries. In most of the countries, it is based on hourly basis. So as many hours that particular person works, they have to pay. There is a certain fixed certain amount per hour which they have to pay based on how many hours they are working. In India and many other countries also, it is monthly pay where they are getting at the end of the month how many hours ever they have worked, they are getting that particular amount. Okay, so just as an example, I told you that automatic answering machines will just annoy most of the customers. So to close gap to standards set by the companies must be based on customer requirements and expectations rather than just on internal company goals. So just if you are looking into the from the company's point of view, you will look more into the saving of company's money, but you are not looking into what the customer wants. If yes, fine, whatever you are doing is also okay with the customers, then it is well and good. But you should look from the point of customers. If I do this, whether the customer is happy, will he accept whatever I am doing or not, or what will be the consequences later after implementing that particular thing, which I have only thought from the company's point of view. So these are all things have to take place. Okay. Then a company must set customer defined standards, operational standards based on customer requirements, visible to and measured by customers. Even whatever you are doing should be seen by the customers as well as it should be measured by the customers also. So this is very, very much important. Okay, so just you should not see from the company's point of view, but you should look from the customer's point of view also what they require. So it is not that what they require only has to be done. It might be very much expensive to the company, but you should meet somewhere in between. You should try to close that particular gap. That is gap to what we are seeing. Okay. Next, moving to type of customer defined service standards. Customer defined service standards. Here we are having two types. So first one is hard customer defined standards and soft customer defined standards. So what are these hard customer defined standards? So in a nutshell, I have given here hard standards and measures. What are they? Things that can be counted, timed, or observed through audits. So the things what you have to see here is that can be counted, timed, or observed through audits. Audits in the sense, if you are sitting and looking for them, it should be, it could be counted or it could be timed or observed. Recent studies across numerous industries have found that the most frequent customer complaints are associated with poor product performance. So most of I can tell you the number that is 29% of the complaints are with the associated with poor product performance and service mistakes And next is the service mistakes or problems. 24% of the complaints are based on the service mistakes or the problems that the customers have got in that particular delivery. To address the need for reliability. So, if you are producing or providing whatever you have told, that is what is reliable or reliability matters. So, whatever you say if you are doing, that means you are reliable. So, to address the need for reliability, companies can institute do it right the first time. We just saw in the previous class also, the previous chapter also. So we had do it right the first time and honor your promises. So these can be your values and goals. So do it right the first time and honor your promises. Value system by establishing reliability standards. For example, I can give you general reliability standard that should be relevant to virtually any service company is right the or right first time, which means the service performed is done correctly the first time according to the customer's assessment. If the service involved delivery of products, so in that particular time, we see right the first time to the customer might mean that the shipment is accurate, that it contains all that the customer has ordered and nothing that the customer did not order, or you are not putting anything less than whatever the customer has ordered. If the service involves installation of an equipment, so right the first time the likely mean that the equipment was installed correctly and was able to be used immediately by the customer. So right first time in terms of installing is as and when your installation is over, the customer should be able to use that particular product. Okay. Another example of reliability is to the right time or right on time to be, which means that the service is performed at a scheduled time. The company representative arrives when promised or the delivery is made at the time the customer expresses it. I give an example of pizza delivery. If you order a pizza, it will reach the customer within half an hour. So here the second one comes to picture, that is value your promises. If you have promised the customer that you are getting or delivering the pizza within half an hour, so you should value that promise and you should make efforts that the pizza has reached that particular customer within half an hour. Okay, reliability is often the single most important concern of service customers. In electronic retailing, on time and accurate fulfillment of order is one of the most important aspects of reliability. Electronic retailing in the sense is online retailing basically. So here, on time and accurate fulfillment of order is the very most sought thing by the people. So in reliability, that is the most important thing. One of the best examples of customer-defined hard standards in the internet context is the set of summary matrices that Dell computers uses for fulfillment. So what are the Dell computers uses in terms of service delivery? I'll tell you. So those of you who are having Dell laptops as well as if you had any issues and you have contacted the company, so you will be knowing how accurately and how nicely they do their services. So some of the things that they look into is shift to target, STT, yes, shift to target. The percentage of orders delivered on time with complete accuracy. It should not go to someone else. So if I have ordered and I have put my address, it should come to me in whatever time specified. Okay, so shift to target. So it should reach the target properly and accurately. So next one, initial field incident rate, IFIR, the frequency of customer problems. That means how frequently the customer is facing this particular problem. They are looking into that also. And the next one is on time, first time fix. On time, first time fix. The percentage of problems fixed on the first visit by a service representative arriving at the time promised. So as far as me, as I have a Dell laptop and I had used a particular service from Dell. So they'll ask you certain things, important things, what has to be from the customer point of view has to be provided to the company. If everything is okay, they'll schedule a service person who will be coming there and will be doing the particular service to you. So what are the things we are looking into? Shift to target. Okay. If you are ordering something, any part from Dell, they'll make sure that it is reaching you accurately. Initial field incident rate. So if anything is happening on field, that means if a customer is using their product and they are facing any particular issue, so is that a repetitive issue? What can be done to solve it? They are looking into that also. How frequently that particular issue is being brought by the customers to the company. And third one is on time first time fix. If the particular person, service person is visiting you, that he should make sure that that particular visit only it is that particular problem is solved. And it should not have multiple visits. It should not have multiple visits. Multiple visits are happening. It's a waste for the company. Both the ends, that is time, the person is consuming the time as well as the money because company has to pay for the work that the person is doing, right? So if he is doing right the first time only, then the company is saving money for the next consecutive visits of that particular service person to your house or your office. Okay. Dell tracks its performance to these standards and rewards employees on the basis of their met promises or reliability, which is often greater than 98%. So you cannot say 100% they are doing. Yes, at times, at very complicated situations, yes, people have to visit multiple number of times, but they are keeping it to the minimum. So even the people, service people who are visiting there, if they are doing it for the first time, they are being rewarded. Okay, so why rewards are given? Because it is kind of an encouragement to those people for continual doing of whatever they are doing. So that means if he is a particular, like for example, I'll take a group of people or in a department, in a service department, if there are 10 people working and there are only two incidents that repetitive person has gone there or more than once. So that means out of 100 if they are doing, 98% of the times they were meeting the set goal. That is, if the person has gone, he has to uh, finish that particular work what is being assigned to him, or the problem has to be solved then and there in the first visit. So that makes it 98%. So if the companies are having such things, okay. So if you see here, I just told you on the screen, hard standards things that can be counted, timed, or observed through audits. So here I can count it, how many times the person has gone there and finished this work once. So if you are setting for time, you can say that okay, within this particular time the person will reach. Even that can be timed whether that particular person has reached or not. Okay, that is very very much important. Next, moving to soft customer defined standards. So there are soft standards and hard standards. We just saw hard standards. What are hard standards? There are the things that can be counted, timed, or observed through audits. And now coming to the soft customer defined standards. So not all customer priorities can be counted, timed, or observed through audits. So I'll give you some examples now. So as Albert Einstein once said, not everything that counts can be counted, and not everything that can be counted counts. So nice saying. So what does this mean? So whatever that counts may not be counted. In the sense, whatever is very very much important may not be counted, and whatever you can count may not be very much important. So it's a very nice sentence by Albert Einstein. Not everything that counts can be counted, and not everything that can be counted counts. For example, understanding and knowing the customer is a customer priority that cannot be adequately captured by a standard that counts times or observes employees. So what does this mean? If you want to know a particular employee, sorry, your customer, that doesn't mean you can count it or you can observe it or you can directly what you call time. Okay, you cannot time. You may need many times or the time required for each customer will be different based on the way the customer is interacting with the service personnel, or it can be other way around, how the service personnel is interacting with the customer also. So that is very very much important. Measures are those that can be documented using perceptual data. That can be documented using perceptual data. That means whatever you have perceived, that kind of data can be documented only. So we call the second and measures because they are opinion-based measures and cannot be directly observed. Okay, they are opinion-based measures and these cannot be measured directly. Okay, these can only be observed. They must be controlled by talking to customers, employees, or others. Soft standards provide direction, guidance, and feedback to employees in ways to achieve customer satisfaction. In ways to achieve customer satisfaction and can be quantified by measuring customer perceptions and beliefs. Soft standards are especially important for person to person interactions, such as the selling process and the delivery. So, hard standards, what are they? Things that can be counted, timed, or observed through audits. And soft one, these are the opinion based measures and cannot be directly observed. They must be controlled by or talking to customers, employees, or others. Then only you get to know. Okay. Soft standards are especially important for person to person interaction. That means this is very, very much important where people are directly in touch with the employees of the company. Okay, so just I'll give you some examples of hard customer defined standards in terms of companies. I'll tell you. So FedEx, okay, customer. What are the customer priorities? On time delivery. FedEx, what they do? They deliver things to people. Okay, so okay, so what are the customer defined standards? Hard standards from the company. What they are doing? Number of packages, right? Day late. Okay, that means number of packages delivered right at that particular day. Next, number of packages wrong that particular day. If they have given a wrong package to a wrong person, which is very very rare as per gas standards. Then number of missed pickups. If there are any pickups, they say sometimes the address is not there or the person is not there or the person is not picking the call or something that happens. So how many times they have missed the pickup? Okay, Dell computer again. So if you see on-time delivery, what customer thinks? On-time delivery and computer works properly. This is what customer wants. From the company, what they say? Shift to target. So it should reach the target customer directly. Then initial field incident rate. So how frequently any issue is happening on the field. Then missing, wrong, and damaged rate. So if you are having any damaged product, missing product, yes, at times there can be some things missing in a package also. So those things should be reduced from the company's point of view. Then service delivery on time, first time fix. That means once the person has gone there to do the service of that particular computer, he has to fix that issue at the first time only. Okay, so these are the two examples of the companies, one is FedEx and the Dell computers for hard customer defined standards. So here you can measure or you can time all these things. Okay, so in terms of FedEx, if you see number of packages right day one, that means you can count how many. So a person has delivered right 20 times this particular day. Okay, fine. You are counting it 20 times. Then number of packages wrong that particular day. Again, you can count those number of missed pickups. You can count those again. Okay. So anywhere here time, yeah, service delivery on time first time. So here you can measure the timing also. How much amount of time the service delivery person or the person who went for fixing that particular computer took on an average. Even that particular time can be measured. Okay. So going to the hard soft standards now, we just hard standards. So I'll give you an example of General Electric. So what customer thinks or what are the customer priorities? Interpersonal skills of operators. So what are interpersonal skills? Like tone of voice. If you're talking to a person, it should not be rude. It should be very soothing. Tone of voice, problem solving capability, and summarizing actions and closing. If you're having any issues, first the tone should be very good. Then you should have an attitude of problem solving. Then you should summarize all the actions. If the customer, if there is a set of things to be done, the representative should summarize all the action and he should close the issue properly. So this is what the customer. From the company side, customer defined standards, taking ownership of the call, following through with promises made, being courteous and knowledgeable, understanding the customer's question or request. This is what is the company's point of view of soft standards. Okay, what is that? Taking ownership of the call. That means you have to look like you are the company and you are owning the company. In such way, you have to respond to the customer, and you should not behave like, yeah, I am one of the customers. Sorry, I am one of the employees who is working there and who is not bothered about this particular call. That should not happen. You should take the ownership of the call, and you should be very much courteous enough to answer whatever questions they are asking you, and for that you need to be very knowledgeable about whatever work you are doing, and you should understand the customer's question properly. At times, if you are not understanding the question properly, you may not be able to solve the question only. Sorry, solve the issue only, right? So this is very very much important that you should understand the customer's question also. Okay, I'll give you one more example. It can be taken as a case study also. Here, I'll give you an hard and soft standards at Ford Motor Company. Okay, Ford Motor Company. First, I'll read a small paragraph of this, then we'll go there. I'll change this slide. Okay, Ford Motor Company provides a real example that illustrates the difference between the hard and soft standards. Several years ago, Ford was looking to develop customer care standards for service at their many dealerships. Marketing research involving 2,400 customers asked them about specific expectations for automobile sales and service. Ford used its input to help identify the level of service dealerships would need to provide to receive Blue Oval certified status. So this is one of the statuses given to companies where they are providing utmost quality service to the customers. So that is Blue Oval certified status. The following seven specific service standards were established as most critical to customers in the service department of dealership. So what are those seven? Just you can see on your screen now. So what is the first one? Appointment available within 1 day of customer's requested service day. Second one, write-up begins within 4 minutes or less of customer arrival. So these things are based on the service what they are providing. Okay, servicing of their cars, Ford Motors. Okay, so first one, so you have to go for an appointment, right? So to take that particular servicing done or your vehicle service, you need to take an appointment. So what is the first point? Appointment available within 1 day of customer's requested service day. If you are full for that particular day, it should be the next day only, and you should not go beyond that. You should provide that particular service within 1 day of customer's requested service day. Second, when you reach the company, the write-up should begin. That means a person should come and attend you within 4 minutes or less of the customer arrival. Third one, service needs are courteously identified, accurately recorded on repair order and verified with customer. So first what you have to do, courteously identify what is the problem. You have to note it down properly in the repair order and it should be verified with the customer. Just on your own, okay, you ask the customer, okay, there is a problem. You'll just note it down and you will move. No, you should again verify with the customer whether that was the problem or not. Okay, this is the third point. Fourth point, vehicle service right on the first time. Again, we see here vehicle service right on the first time. So once the servicing is done, the customer should not face any issues in terms of the performance of that particular vehicle. So vehicle service right on the first visit. Next one, fifth one, Service status provided within 1 minute of inquiry. So if you are sitting there or if you are moving out, okay, you have left your vehicle for a servicing, if you have moved out, and if you are inquiring for the status of your vehicle, the status should be provided within 1 minute of the inquiry from the customer. Okay. Next is sixth one, vehicle ready at agreed upon time. So if you say within 2 hours your vehicle will be ready, so you should make sure that within 2 hours that particular vehicle should be ready after the servicing. Or if you are taking more time, you should be very specific, and you are very much liable to finish that particular work within that specific time which is being promised by you to your customer. Vehicle should be ready at the agreed upon time. The next, thorough explanation given of work done, coverage and charges. Okay, thorough explanation has to be given to the customer. Once the customer has come to pick the vehicle, thorough explanation of what all work has been done on that particular vehicle has to be explained, and also the coverage and charges. So how much is covered from the company's side, and what will be the charges that the person has to pay or the customer has to pay to the company for that particular service of that particular vehicle. So these were the seven main things which were sought by the customers in that survey. That is 2,400 customers they surveyed. Okay, and they took information from them, and these were the most seven things what the customer wanted. So here some standards the company has put. Now we have to find out what are the soft standards and what are the hard standards. Okay, what are the soft and hard standards? I'll just go back. So hard standards are the things that can be counted, timed, or observed through audits. And soft standards are opinion-based measures and cannot be directly observed. So out of these seven, we should find out which are the hard standards and which are the soft standards. So here if we see, several of these standards code identified fall into the category of hard standards. They can be counted, timed, or observed through audits. So standards is second and fifth one. Second is write-up begins within 4 minutes. So you can count that within 4 minutes how many times that is it. And the fifth one, what is the fifth one? Service status to be provided within 1 minute of the inquiry. Okay, within 1 minute of the inquiry. Standards 12.5, for example, could be time. Okay, minutes is given 4 minutes and 1 minute. This can be timed properly. Okay, in the service establishment. The hard measure would be either the frequency or percentage of times that the standards time periods are met or the average times themselves are met. Okay. In general, it will be within 4 minutes. So it can be 2 minutes, 1 minute, 1.5 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever. It should be within 4 minutes. The write-up should begin, and within 1 minute, the inquiry should be responded with the status of the vehicle. Okay. Next, other standards could be counted or audited. Such standards like 1, 4, and 6. So first one, appointment available within 1 day. So how many times you have done that? The fourth one, vehicle service right on the first time. Again, how many times you have given on the right time exactly? And the sixth one, vehicle ready at agreed upon time. How many times you have given the correct delivery at that particular time that you have said. This, the service clerk who answers the telephone could record the number of times that appointments were available within 1 day of the customer's request. The number of repeat visits could be counted to measure standard 4, that is vehicles serviced right at the first time, and the number of vehicles ready at the agreed upon time could be tallied as customers come in and pick up their cars. Because most of the times when you go for servicing, the time also will be written at 5:30, at 4 o'clock, at 2 o'clock. You can come and collect. So have you collected that exactly at 4 o'clock? Was your vehicle delivered to you exactly? So those are the things. So these are the hard things. Which are those? 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6 all come under hard standards. So where you can either time them or either count them. So the next soft standards. So if you see the standards 3 and 7. So service needs are courteously identified, accurately recorded, and on repair order and verified with customer. So this, when you are talking to the customer only, he can tell you whether the person was courteous and was he accurately recording this repair order, and was that the person has verified it with the customer or not. Okay, and the seventh one is thorough explanation. So this cannot be counted actually. So was the explanation thorough or no, can be got only when you are talking to the customer only. Okay, and were the charges told to them properly. Okay, three standards representing desired behaviors that are soft and therefore cannot be counted or timed. Okay, so for example, the courteous behavior including in standard 3 cannot be counted. Likewise, standard 7 requires the different type of measure the customer's perception or opinion about whether this behavior was performed appropriately or not. It is not that soft standards cannot be measured. Instead, they must be measured in different ways. But they can be measured, but not in terms of time or in terms of number of time it has occurred or not. Okay, soft standards provide direction, guidance, and feedback to employees in ways to achieve customer satisfaction and can be quantified by measuring customer perceptions and beliefs. So this is very, very much important that this particular soft standards will give the direction or guidance and feedback to the employees in ways to achieve customer satisfaction. So was the servicing done properly? Was the person very much courteous? Was he giving the right information which was asked to by the customer? Was he explaining whatever was done on his vehicle? And did he explain the charges exactly for what and for what all things these particular charges are being levied on the customer? So all these things are very, very much important. So here we can stop for today. So I'll just summarize what all we did. So we started with the module 3. So what is module 3 deals with the gap 2. So what is that particular gap name? Service design and standards gap, which is between the customer driven service designs and standards and customers, sorry, company's perception of consumers' expectation. So this particular gap is between these two. So we saw factors necessary. What are those? Tasks and behaviors which can be standardized or customized. Then standardization of service can take three things. One is technology can be used instead of personal contact or personal human contact. Then the improvement of work methods, and the third one is combination of both. Then formal service targets and goals. What are those? Individual formal goals can be set as well as group formal goals can be set to achieve the targets. Then next coming to customer not company defined standards. So that is basically gap is given. So you need to minimize that gap or you can completely remove that particular gap by doing what? Thinking from the customer side also and just not thinking from the company side. Then we are having two kinds of customer defined service standards. That is hard standard where you can count them. It can be timed or it can be observed through audits. Then we are having soft customer defined standards, that is opinion based measures and which cannot be directly observed. Okay, this can be collected through talking to customers, employees or other people. These soft standards are very, very much important in places where we are having person to person interactions, and these guide the employees or the people who are providing the services in getting the customers satisfied. Okay, today we can stop here. So any doubts here, students, in whatever we have covered? Anyone, any doubts? No? Okay then, in the next class, we'll continue with module 3. So we can stop our class. Okay, thank you, students.